Mark,
Hey,
how are you?
man?
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Exactly. I remember, like today, I pass you. You're rolling on the road exactly in this amazing car. And it's again, I told you before, I'm from Europe. I'm
Right.
straight from Poland. I mean, I'm close to the border with Germany. Poland is pretty large country, pretty wide country. I'm exactly making jokes a lot of times that Poland is wide like Florida is long. And I'll tell you, this joke was running for the past few years, and a few months ago I finally checked this. So I Googled this funny story. I was off by 7 miles. So yeah, Poland is a large country. I'm located right by the border with Germany, and that's exactly what my location exactly allowed me to dive deep in a car culture, especially because Poland, it's a story we didn't release any cool cars, but Germany definitely. One of the top country talking about roads in Europe, spectacular roads, amazing quality roads. We're talking Nuremberg track. German cars. I mean, back then, especially, I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. Top technology in entire Europe, if not in the world. I mean, except United States, which had amazing cars too, but we're talking Volkswagen, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and Porsche. I know that you're a Porsche guy, but let's start with this, how I met you exactly, because that's exactly what caught my eye, and that was the moment when I approached you, because I was just blown away. I haven't seen that kind of car here in the United States, and that was what was interesting about you exactly, because I will let you talk.
Yeah, okay. Well, that car was a Delta Integrale, which is Lancia, and it was done up. It was a hill climb car in Europe. It had the traditional Martini and Rossi livery.
Yeah.
Wide body. I mean, it's something that you don't see going down the road.
No.
In Florida or in the U.S. at all.
Brought back my teenage years when I was sitting by the TV and watching, WRC races there back in Europe.
Right.
We're talking Audi Quattro, we're talking Lancia Delta.
Right. The Lancia Delta, I think they won like 4 or 5 years in a row the championship with their with this type of car.
Yeah, that was the moment I'm like, you know what, I want to chat with you because right now I'm here in the United States. Not a lot of people are familiar with this. Not a lot of people are familiar with those races back then. I'm usually having a little chat with the guys, classic cars, hot rods, but recently the past interviews, automotive world and car culture here in the United States is huge. We're talking about classic cars and hot rods, but we're talking about also race car culture. And this one is like, we're talking Indy, we're talking NASCARs, and then everything else. So
yeah, it's definitely part of the culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of branches. The car culture.
but your knowledge exactly made you to get this car, and that's exactly the moment when you mentioned the car, but then you slowly start sharing the story which you were racing back in the days too.
Right. Yeah, well, my first car, I was always into European cars. My first car was a 1966 Volkswagen Bug.
Wow.
And then followed that, I found a 914 Porsche in a junkyard and fixed it up. But I was always into either trucks or American trucks or European cars.
Yeah, you mentioned, so 1966 Volkswagen Bug was your first car which you were racing?
No, I wasn't racing it, but I was living in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I bought that car off my sister-in-law and my brother, and it was my first car, yeah.
Oh, so you were cruising the California roads there too, huh?
Right. Yeah, when I was 17, 18 years old, we would go, we'd go down, we were right on the edge of Van Nuys Boulevard. I think Wednesday nights we'd go to Van Nuys Boulevard, everybody would have their hot rods, motorcycles, bicycles, everything out. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah,
good times. Spectacular area. And I mean, the Laguna Seneca is right there too.
Well,
yes?
that's up north, but still a big racing community.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were racing there a bunch of times too, yes, over the years?
Yeah, over the years, yeah. But we also had, my brother was involved with off-road trucks in the Baja 500.
Really?
The 400, yeah. We were friends with people. Bill Strop did all the Ford Broncos for Ford, and Walker Evans, who did Dodge, Ford, a bunch of different off-road. These guys are legends now, that we just knew as friends.
I'm learning about this exactly. Watching more about Baja 500. But you mentioned also 914, and this car exactly is moving up pretty quick.
Moving up, yeah.
I think like a ugly duckling, you would call the same kind of.
Well, a lot of people. It was introduced in some countries as a Volkswagen, of course.
Okay.
And then Porsche in the United States. So the one that people really want is the 6-cylinder, the 2-liter 6-cylinder,
yes,
which is a cut above because it had some 911 parts on it. And had a good race history. But the 914 4-cylinders are coming up in price, but they're mid-engine. They're wonderfully handling car.
Yes.
And dependable, but they were like the ugly duckling. You're right, right.
Mm-hmm. So how you started exactly?
Well, I started racing. We had some sports cars and did some autocrossing a few times. It was a parking lot, 2 cones.
Back then, up north.
Yeah, up north. This is in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then I got my first race car with a partner, and we
How old you were back then?
I would say I was about 23.
Uh-huh.
23, yeah. And I was in business from when I was 17, but was on the automotive accessory business.
Okay.
But me and a partner, we bought a Volkswagen Rabbit. It was an SCCA SSC showroom stock car, and drove it, took it to all Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, Charlotte. We took it all over the place, but had a lot of fun with that car. Yeah, and it was you would race in other showroom stock cars. So we would be on a weekend at SCCA. There'd be a bunch, about 10 classes, but we would be one of the classes that ran in a kind of a stock car with some modifications, but a lot of track time, a lot of learning. It was fun.
Learning, and that's the story. You're getting you experiencing this, you're learning, and developing your.
But what I developed is I liked, this is a front wheel drive car, small saloon car, and that's what I basically drove most of the time. From there, I went to did Renault Cup for 3 years. Renault Cup.
Really?
They were Encores or I forget the two. There was a hatchback and there was a sedan type car. But there was some on the West Coast and some on the East Coast, and we'd get together a couple times a year for a race with all the cars together. But again, you have 40 cars or so, and they're all getting it to turn one the first time.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same, supposedly, pretty much the same.
Competitions.
Competition, yeah.
We're talking big competitions. But it's again, you mentioned the European name, and that's what is interesting for me. The Renault is, first of all. Second of all, you mentioning again that you're starting your career with Rabbit, and you're exactly my second guest who is mentioning this to me, and it's quite interesting for me because I was familiar with those cars because I'm back from the Europe, but I didn't know that you guys exactly were in those cars here, and that's how you were starting your little career.
And then went on. I got a sponsorship from Volkswagen of America, and we raced golfs in the kind of a golf cup or the IMSA racing, which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
A lot of fun in those cars too, yeah. And again, front wheel drive, small displacement cars, but a lot of technique and a lot of track time, and you could really learn car control with that type of car.
Yeah, and that's what was interesting exactly. First you mentioned the Rabbit and then the 914. How was everything for you? I mean, you're starting in your 20s, and that's what I hear that's the best age to start, I guess. And how's everything rolling after that exactly for you?
Good. Well, I've been in business for 51 years, and always in the automotive aftermarket business. And
yes.
Our current business is in the filtration business, green filter.
All right.
And that's doing really well for us now.
So that's also, we're talking about motorsport industry.
Right.
So you're involved all the time in this world there.
Right. We've probably been at the big show in the U.S. is the SEMA show.
Okay.
We've been there for 48 years.
Wow.
It's a long time. And we also do the Automechanica show or the IAA show in Frankfurt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Germany.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's been good. That's been going on all the time. You know, I've always been in business, and racing was always a sideline for me. But
yeah, sideline, but the time flies, and you've been racing for how many years?
22, 23 years. Yeah.
So we're talking a nice piece of your life.
Right.
We're talking some nice experience to share and some
right. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Story.
And we were always, you know, we were kind of a warm-up band for either an IndyCar race or a Trans Am race.
Okay.
So we'd be earlier in the morning, and then they'd have the big race in the afternoon. But in front of the same audience and the same people there, and and a lot of people would cross over and race in our little series, you know, as a warm-up, get to know the track and stuff like that. So it was fun.
Yeah. So we're talking. What kind of cars did you race in your full 20-something years career?
Oh, okay. Let me just start. Yeah, started with a Volkswagen Rabbit. We'll just run through them quickly. Renault Encore, which was a European supported by the Renault automotive company. It was really good. Moved on to IMSA with Volkswagen Golf, and that was a good run. And then we got into the SCCA race truck series, which was unique because it was before NASCAR had a race truck series. The SCCA Pro had a race truck series, and it was supported by all the major car companies. We had Chrysler in there. We had Ford Motor Company, Toyota, Mitsubishi. So it was a factory supported series, and I raced the Mitsubishis, I raced Jeeps, and the Ford Rangers. Finished up with Steve Saleen was my partner in
Jeeps and Ford Rangers. Yeah. What type of cars are you talking about right now?
They're all small pickups. They were all
small pickups.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't even know that you guys had that kind of races
it was
here.
Interesting. Yeah, it was interesting.
So that's kind of unique.
Yeah, and a lot of people that were a lot of famous racers had cameo appearances in that series. You know? Al Unser was racing with us a couple times, and a lot of people started their career there. They ended up in Indy cars or NASCAR, but they were in that race with us, so it was a lot of fun. And we'd go to all the major racetracks in the U.S. sponsored by with the SCCA Pro Racing Series.
So it seems for me like the racing world was slightly larger and wider than we have right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of everybody talks about Indy cars in the U.S., Indy cars and NASCAR for the most part.
Yes.
But SCCA was always in and out of different types of, and that was one of the products.
Comparing to what we have right now, exactly, what do you think? Isn't it like the racing world is slightly shrinking here?
And you have IMSA, which is NASCAR now, does their sports car side of it. So, and now they have a program where they run like the Petit Le Mans here, and along with the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So the same cars, same rules. So it's getting to be internationally. But it has been, there's less races, but they're putting them together with other groups.
Okay.
Be bigger.
So you race mostly all tracks in the United States?
All tracks? All the major sports car tracks in the United States.
Any favorites ones?
Well, we always liked Mid-Ohio because it was close to us, but kind of our home track. But it never did really well there. But Road America would tend to be my favorite. Road America Lime Rock was great. Yeah. Road Atlanta, Charlotte, but and a lot of street races. I really had a really good time and did really well on temporary road courses like St. Petersburg. We did one in Minneapolis.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. We did one there, but it was a lot of fun.
You mentioned the St. Pete, exactly. I had the opportunity to experience first time in my life exactly IndyCar race, and this one was in St. Pete, and I had a great time, spectacular experience. I mean, the entire track was designed in the downtown of Stampede.
Right.
Easy access everywhere, fantastic points of view for me with the camera. I really had a great time there. And seeing first time, hear the engines and
Wow.
yes.
Between the buildings and all the
Oh, you have those skyscrapers, tall buildings everywhere, and they were just shooting on those roads in the downtown of Stampede. That was amazing. I'm still looking forward to experience maybe Formula One finally. I know Miami is pretty close here, maybe one day.
Right.
There's another track in Austin, Texas. This one looks pretty nice
That's
too.
really nice, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned just the, Laguna Seca, even California. We're talking different races, but this track looks good too. And I know there is a lot of going on exactly in the world of tracks. I've seen a lot of tracks are disappearing exactly around.
Yeah.
Maybe some smaller ones.
Well, the tracks have traditionally been on the outside of a metropolitan area, and what happens is, the land becomes too valuable to build houses or put a shopping mall or whatever, and that's what you'll see a lot of, especially in California, a lot of racetracks that were there, Riverside, Ontario, were just overrun by, growth.
But you don't think so that the popularity of the racing or...
I think it's on the upswing. I think it had a little bit of a downtime. I think it's on the upswing, yeah.
We have next few months talking about what will be first one. I know will be January, will be Rolex Daytona.
Right.
I learned about this one. Maybe I will finally get there, and then we're talking the main Daytona. It's February.
Yeah, you're both in February, I believe. And but yeah, it kind of starts off the whole racing season with a road race, and that's the 24 hours of Daytona. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to visit Sebring a few times. One of those times exactly there was vintage car racing, 12-hour, fantastic experience. I've seen vintage Porsches, Mustangs, or even Ferraris, 308 or something rolling there on those.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Any favorite cars for you?
I don't know. It comes down. Porsche, I like Porsche. I like Fords. I have some Fords and I have some Porsches. And basically, through the racing, I ended my kind of racing career in a Ford Mustang, but did a stint with Honda Civics and but yeah, it's kind of become more of a enthusiast and a collector, So
yes.
that's probably where I am today, more of a collector than.
Meaning still leaving pretty large footprint in your life.
Right.
And definitely you have some knowledge maybe to share also to young generation, because that's what it's really about too. I mean, yes, you had great time and great experience and created the story, but after 5, 10, 20 years you have really something to share, and there's definitely a lot of young kids running around who's dreaming about this
and you get busy with family and business in my case, and,
yes.
And it kind of you don't have a lot of time. And one of the contributing factors is funny when you talk about young kids. When we used to go, when we were deciding to go, we hardly had any room to put anybody because everybody was going, But as people get busy and get families, it's less and less to have people. You have to pay people, but you used to get a lot of volunteers, and that just because it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That's one thing. But it was fun, and I'm sure it's still fun. But I always liked spec races. I wanted to race a car that I didn't have to work on Monday through Friday to set up. I wanted to race a car that was even with everybody else, and they weren't always even. But you had people from engineers from car companies, and they were they were on the front row all the time because they had little whatever the tricks they had. They knew, but that's supposed to be like we'd go to Road America, and I think there was 75 cars or 76 cars last time. So you get 76 cars, all basically the same cars, getting to turn one at the first time. So it gets really interesting. So we had a good experience there. A couple top podium finishes, and people say, "Oh, you're only third." Well, there were 76 cars.
Not too bad.
That's pretty good. It's
Not
pretty
too
good.
bad.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, and through the racing and going to college and doing all the things we were doing, going to races, being in races, always had a business, and always in the light truck business, but got into the performance business, and we now make our company's Green Filter. We make a high performance air filters for any combustion engine, but really about performance. And we have an ultra performing filter for any car. We make them for just about every car, especially popular cars, anything that has to do with sports or performance. Mm-hmm. And we also do some products for OEMs on the Dodge performance cars. We do a filter they put on at the factory. But we've been won Le Mans in the Ford GTs with a green filter in it. So it's a nice add-on to anybody's car, whether it's a sports car or a family car. Better gas mileage, more horsepower, better flow. It's a great product, green filter. Passionate about racing, passionate about business, and it's been a nice combination of a lifespan of
like journey. Journey. I mean, you're mentioning like some quiet time. So, and doing all these things exactly, that's quiet skill of balance. We're talking balance in your life, which is very important exactly. Because it's not easy to balance the business, family, and racing, right, with the travels and everything involved.
Yeah. And the latest thing has been, car auctions and Barrett Jackson. Andy's been to 30, 40 of these, and just, continuing with the passion, but maybe not behind the wheel all the time.
But still involved pretty strong.
Yeah, and every once in a while you get the bug to get back into racing, And so I'm 69, just chit.
Stop.
So it's, but what I would suggest, and what I've done just recently, is went back to a school. Because the schools they teach you some basics, and then they have a race. They don't like to say it's a race, but you have a timed event. And I was just at Spring Mountain with the Cadillac program in a CT5 Blackwing, and it's a 800 almost 800 horsepower car, and they're all the same, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun there. And we did a 3-day school, and that's a good thing for people that want to get into it. Save up some money and go to racing school, and you're going to get the bug, or you're going to have a lot of fun. But it's going to be a good experience.
You're talking something what is quite time on my bucket list too. But that's what you mentioned. Just save some money, because I was checking some schools. In the area, of course, more Florida. I didn't check anything up north, but we're talking some big numbers. So if you really want to jump into the seat of the car driver, you got to put some money up front.
Yeah, and it's different from doing an autocross in a parking lot or something like that. It's when you go there. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty.
It's real and professional.
Real. Yeah. I mean, you definitely the basics. You might not, you're not going to set the track record, but you're going to.
But you're leaving the weekend with some big knowledge there, definitely, and experience, adrenaline, because that's what it's about. That's why you're doing this for years. Yes, that's the adrenaline. Any favorite races? I believe you're still. I'm not talking about that you're racing, but you're joining as a spectator.
Oh well, yeah. Well, in the mix of all this, I've had some friends in NASCAR business, and the IndyCar business. A good friend of mine, Chip Ganassi, he's in the sports car world. We've been Don Panos. We went to Le Mans 6 times. I've been to Le Mans 6 times with the teams. Also numbers and numbers and numbers of IndyCar races, NASCAR races. Friends with the Wood Brothers. In the NASCAR business, and it's just been through my association with Ganassi Racing, which we make some products. Green Filter makes products for them.
Okay.
It's been at the same time we were building a business, racing cars, going to races at the highest level. So it was fun.
Meaning that you're staying pretty strong in a racing world.
Yeah, right.
Nice. That's the big passion there. Mark, anyway, I really want to appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thank you for inviting me and sharing your story. Yes,
right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.